It has been a couple months since we've done one of these. I think it's time we do it again. We are bringing back the bookshelf scavenger hunt. Hi, welcome back. Welcome if you're new. My name's Flo. How are you doing? If you've never seen one of these before, it's a very simple concept. We have 10 prompts. Each prompt will lead from one book to the next book to the next book, and then the 10th book, the final book, we read together in a reading vlog. It's a lot of fun. I've done it a few times. I've had mixed success, but I think the last couple of times I've done this I've had some good books, so I have high hopes. Hopefully. And we are, like last time, going to be using your guys' prompts. You guys left a bunch in the comments of the last couple videos. I have gone through and I've selected some fun ones, and we are once again using your prompts. It's a mixture of some of the same ones as last time and some different ones. Some of them are challenging. Some of them I am nervous for, but they are fun and they are creative, so I'm excited to get you guys involved in the video. Equally, if you have any more, or if you're new and you want to add some prompts, please do comment them down below. Any sort of prompt where it's like, take the element of this book and then help that pick the next book. So just anything that leads to a new book from a book that already exists. Does that make sense? I don't know. You'll get it as we go along, but if you've got any prompts, feel free to leave them down below and then maybe next time I can use them. So I think without further ado, we're just gonna get right on into it and see what we're gonna be reading this week. Okay, prompt number 1 is nice and simple. We have pick a 5-star read. What should we do? Should we go for one of my most recent 5-star reads? Honestly, this isn't even a 5-star, it's a 6-star. I'm going with Shark Heart by Emily Habeck. I read this recently. I adored this with every fibre of my being. It is weird, metaphorical literariness, and I ate it up. I'm obsessed with it. I just thought everything about this was stunning, and I think this is a great way to start the video. Okay, prompt number 2 is pick a book that has been on your TBR longer than the book that you are currently holding. This was new, right? I'm trying to think when I got this. My birthday? I think it was for my birthday. So I only need a book that I've owned for like more than 4 or 5 months. That's pretty easy. I'm just gonna go with literally the first book that I saw, which was All the Light We Cannot See. I have owned this for quite a long time. I think this is one I thrifted ages ago. I haven't read it yet. I know that's awful. I do know that. I need to get to it. I need encouraging to get to it. It's historical fiction and it's just not a genre I ever reach for. I'm a little bit intimidated by the genre, but I've heard very good things. So this is book number 2. Prompt 3. Oh no. Prompt number 3 is a hard one. It is pick a book with a rhyming title to the book currently in your hand. How do I do this? Do I just rhyme it with C, because that's the last word? All the light we cannot see, and then something that rhymes with C. That shouldn't be that hard. C. She's always hungry. All the light we cannot see, she's always hungry. I think that rhymes, right? Yeah. I'm going with it. This is Eliza Clark's debut short story collection. If you don't know, get to know. Eliza Clark is one of my favourite authors. I literally love her, but I haven't read this yet and I am so excited. Honestly, this is one of the books that I kind of was hoping to get in this video. Obviously, that's pretty much out of my hands, but like if I could have picked, I would have picked this because I just want to get to this so badly. Maybe we still will. I don't normally repeat books, but we'll see where we end up at the end. But this is like a horror, feminist, female rage short story collection. I'm very excited. I love Eliza Clark. She does female rage and unlikable characters like no one else. Prompt number 4 is take your age and count that many spaces across from the place of your current book. Love that. So I am 24. She came from here. I'm gonna count 24 spaces from here and we're gonna go across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Very different. We have Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. I've read this one and I've read the first Daisy Hates book, and then I've kind of been slacking on the rest because the next book is thick. I think I read the first 14 pages and then didn't continue it for some reason. So this is another one that I need to get back to at some point. But this is like technically romance, but basically just like rich, annoying people drama, but it's fun drama. We're on prompt 5 already. Pick a book where the author has the same initials as the author of your current book. I always struggle with this. Okay, so we're looking for a JH. Now, I could just pick another Jessa Hastings book, but that feels like cheating. So let me see if I can find another JH. I might have to consult my Goodreads, bear with. Okay, I'm just going to sort by author. Oh, okay. Near enough. Where is it? J.P. Harker. So J.H. J.P.H. I think it's the closest we're going to get. We're going to go with this. This is an indie fantasy that the author sent me, last year? The year before? How long have I been doing this? Maybe last year. I can't remember. It's like a quite complicated political war-based fantasy. There were lots of like different camps. Very, very, very gruesome. There were lots of body parts hacked off. Okay, prompt number 6 is add together the numbers of the publication date and pick a book with that many letters in the title. Okay, this is a fun prompt. I enjoy this one. So this was published in 2021. So 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 1, 5. So I need a book title with 5 letters in the title. That should not be too hard. Oh, B-A-B-E-L. Perfect. I'm going to go for Babel by R.F Kuang. I've read Yellowface from this author. Absolutely adored it. Haven't got to this one yet. I am a little bit intimidated. It's like a dark academia. Oh gosh, the font is tiny. Very intimidated by this book. But I do want to get to it because I think it's going to be gorgeous. And as I say, I loved Yellowface. This is the next book. Okay, we have turn to page 14, line 14, and pick a book title with a word from that line. Okay, this is my mum's prompt, and I feel like it's a slightly harder one. Okay, page 14, 13, 14, it is tiny. Line 14 says, Mr. Swift, good to meet you. Okay, I think we're looking for a book with either good or meat in the title. Is Good Girl's Guide to Murder on here? Good Girls, yeah. I'm going with this, A Good Girl's Guide for Murder by Holly Jackson. I feel like I'm picking up all the books I haven't read. I swear I've read a lot of the books on these shelves, but not this one. This is a YA mystery. Okay, prompt number 8, another difficult one. It says, pick a book by an author who has blurbed your current book, or brackets has a similar name. Okay, we're looking for a... Oh no, I don't think there are any blurbs on this. Wait, are there any in the front? There are no authors who have blurbed this. Not one. The only quote is from The Guardian. Okay, we might have to go back a prompt and pick a different book. So we are, in fact, still looking for a book with either good or meat in the title. Let me consult Goodreads again. There must be another one with good. No? Meat? No. I don't have a single book with good or meat. What else was on there? Mr. Smith, good to meet you. What are the odds that we have a book with Swift in the title? If only I had Swift and Saddled, but I don't. Okay. I'm gonna end up having to pick a book with to or you in the title. Oh, it's a bit of a cop-out, but I think it's actually all I've got. Beautiful World, Where Are You? I don't know. Does that have blurbs? No, not from authors. Forget that then. Okay, the things we do to our friends. Is that going to have any blurbs on it? Not by authors that I have books from. Do I have similar? There's a Sarah and there's a Rosemary. I must have a book by a Sarah. I must have a book by a Sarah. Let's go with that. Oh, Sarah J. Maas. Yeah, okay, we'll go Sarah J. Maas. I was about to Goodreads it. I don't even know where we're at. This is prompt number whatever it was. Pick a book blurbed by an author, not with the same name as it turns out, but similar. They're both called Sarah, it counts. I feel like that was harder than it should have been. I'm not going to explain the plot of this, I assume we know. Okay, we're on to prompt number 9, which is pick a book with the same last letter in the title as your current book. Okay, so this is, the last letter is S, so I need another book where the last letter is S. A book that ends in that letter. Again, that shouldn't be too hard. Okay. I'm going to go for The Natural Way of Things, ends in an S. This is like a dystopia about these like group of women who are trapped in a, I don't really know what it was, like a kind of ranch sort of thing. But this is the last book and now we are on to our final prompt. Pick a book on the opposite side of the colour wheel to the book you are currently holding. Okay, I have a luminous green book, so something, I don't know what the opposite of green is. I'm going to have to pull up a colour wheel because I don't know my colours. Oh, there are so many. I'm just going to go with the first one that comes up, which is this one. And according to this, the opposite of green is red, according to this. You see that? The opposite of green is red, so I need a red book. Okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything on my monthly TBR that would work, and then if not, I will just have a little look, see what I feel like I'm in the mood for. No. Okay, none of those have a red cover, unfortunately. So let's have a look for some options. We could do Red Rising. Is the cover of that even red? I don't know. I'm a bit scared of that book. Oh, Rouge would be a great option. Is this red? No, that's pink. Rouge could be a good option by Mona Awad. Open Water is like half red, I think. I think Rouge is like the reddest book we're going to get, so probably fits the prompt the best. Is there anything else? Scythe has a lot of red on it. Okay, I think I'm going to go for Rouge. I mean, you can't get a book much more red than this one, so I think this might be a good shout. It wasn't really like on my immediate TBR to get to like now, immediately. But that being said, I loved Bunny. Like, adored it. And I am excited to read more Mona Awad. We have this one and we have All's Well. And then the sequel to Bunny is coming out at the end of this year, which I very much intend to read. So maybe it's time to get into another Mona Awad. This one is something to do with skincare and like the beauty world. That's really all I know. I have no expectations whatsoever. As I say, I've read Bunny before, which that book is like a fever dream. It's insane, but in a good way, to me. But I'm excited to read something else from this author. And it's literary fiction, and we do know that is my favourite genre. Okay, this isn't the book I necessarily thought we would be reading today, but I don't think I'm mad about it. Stick around, we're going to be reading Rouge in this video. How fun. It's the same day. I wasn't really expecting to update you as soon as this, but I was intrigued. I wanted to start the book, and I have, and I'm on page, so I finished part 1, which is about 85 pages. I don't know what I was expecting when I literally had already read Bunny. For some reason, and it's dumb looking back on it, but for some reason I didn't think this book was going to be as weird and like mind whatever, like boggling confusingness as Bunny, but it is, and guess what, I'm not mad about it because I loved Bunny. I did. I thought it was great. For some reason I just thought that this was going to be not on those lines, and it's different, but it is the same feel, and the feel is weird, but not in a bad way. So let's talk about it. We are following Belle, also known as Mira, also known as Mirabelle, also known as Daughter of Noel. She's kind of called a lot of things. She is completely obsessed with skincare, and then her mother dies. And we're kind of following those two plot lines. So it's her grieving, but also her quite complicated relationship with her mother, and then equally this obsession with skincare. And she finds this spa / cult thing. There are jellyfish there. I don't know. We don't really know who they are, what they do. It's a very weird book, and I don't know why I thought it wouldn't be confusing. It's not confusing. Like, you know what's going on, in the sense that you know you're not meant to know what's going on, if that makes sense. I fear it didn't. I'm not reading it being like, huh? Who? What? I'm reading it being like, oh, okay, there's lots of things going on here that are strange and unsettling and we're not meant to know. Because it does jump around quite a lot between moments and like now, and then also how like childhood, there are like little glimpses. I don't know, I'm vibing with it so far. It's very different from anything I've read this year. I'm happy to be back in my kind of more literary roots. I feel like I've been reading a lot of very genre-based stuff recently, so like romance and thriller, which is fun and I like those things, but this is where my heart is. And these are the books that are most likely to be 5 stars. Is this going to be? I don't know. It's too early to tell you yet, but so far at least I am liking it. I feel like this quote quite well sums up the writing style. It says, I could look like I'm crying. I might even feel actual tears slipping down my cheeks, leaving rivulets of dryness in their salty wake. I could look so much like I'm crying to the average person unfamiliar with the formula that they might feel compelled to say to me, are you okay? But I never explain the formula to such people. I always just say, I'm fine. There is a lot of skincare talk in this book, and some of it, there are some long lists. Some of them go over my head. But so far, I'm intrigued. It's a very intriguing setup. It's giving kind of horror vibes, which I think technically Bunny is listed as a horror. And they're not like scary, they're just weird. But equally, I could see this playing out as a film, and when I'm reading it, it feels like it's playing out like a film, and I could see that film being scary. We'll see where it goes. I'm intrigued.
In the hills of Carolina, where the waters gently flow, a hidden gem called Lake Lure became a star in a famous show.
I am on page 210. Look how much I've tabbed. I am obsessed with this writing. Like, the book itself is bizarre. There's no other word for it. It is bizarre. But I think similar to Bunny, you kind of just have to trust the process. Like, do I know what's going on? Not really, but I know what's going on enough to not be annoyed, if that makes sense. Like, sometimes when you read a confusing book, it's a bit like, I don't know what's going on, and you kind of check out. Personally, anyway, I'm not having that at all. Like, I'm really quite liking this. I have tabbed so many things because I just find her writing fascinating. There are just so many lines where I'm just like, I love the wording, or these tiny little moments. I can't really explain it, but I just absolutely adore Mona Awad's writing style. It definitely is similar, I think, to Bunny. Similar and not similar. Similar in the sense that we have a woman kind of falling into a cult, and both of those women have kind of nobody else, which is why they're so like vulnerable, I think. And the kind of conversations within this about grief are really interesting with that backdrop. We have conversations about grief, we have really interesting commentary on like the beauty industry. That stuff is very well written, but not in your face. Like, it's very, subtle's not the right word, but it's just written well and it's embedded in the plot. It's not just like pushing a message in your face. I'm really like vibing with Mona Awad's writing, and it's also just like a super trippy, vibey book. Exact same as Bunny, that book was also very trippy, and this kind of like plays around with timelines, which I don't think Bunny did. It's been a while since I read that book. I don't think there was like her childhood in there, whereas this one does have childhood. Also, was not expecting Tom Cruise to play such a big role in this book. Was not expecting that. Can't say I've ever read a book where Tom Cruise played such a critical role in a novel, but I don't know what to tell you about this book other than I am liking it. I would say if you enjoyed Bunny, I think you will enjoy this. If you didn't enjoy Bunny, you're probably gonna have the same experience. I feel like they are, I don't want to keep saying they're similar because they are very different plots. But I think the reading experience is similar, if that makes sense. I think if you liked one, you would enjoy the other one. Probably. I don't know. That's my experience anyway. I'm also just absolutely obsessed with this cover. Like, completely obsessed with it. The only problem with a matte cover is you end up getting fingerprints all over it. Which I know is such a small problem, but like, it's so gorgeous, and now it's just covered in my fingerprints. I'm just obsessed with this writing. I'm running out of tabs, by the way. I need to get my hands on some more tabs because I'm getting into tabbing this year. Or I'm trying to get into tabbing. I'm only really tabbing literary fiction because I know some people tab their books by like plot points, or I guess everyone has a different system. I only really tab lines that I like. That's really my entire system. Some people like colour coordinate, like a colour to a certain thing, like an emotion or whatever. I'm not doing that. I'm just trying to make it look aesthetic. All I'm doing is tabbing quotes that I like, writing that I think is either good or interesting. What was the last thing I tabbed? Look at all these lovely people drinking and dancing under the brilliant chandelier, I thought. Not laughing, but only because they didn't want laugh lines. They were laughing on the inside though. I'm obsessed with her writing style. I'm really excited now to pick up All's Well, because I did listen to literally about 2.5 minutes of the audiobook for All's Well, and I was like, this is a book I need to read physically because I want to tab it and I want to have the book like with me. So I stopped listening to the audiobook. But yeah, I think we will get to All's Well, like definitely this year, but hopefully soon, because I'm just really vibing with Mona Awad's writing. Is there a list of what else she's written? No. Well, if anyone has any other recommendations of hers, because after this the only other book I do own is All's Well, so If you have any recommendations for other books you think I might like, or just books that you liked from her, let me know.
Lake Lure, oh Lake Lure, where dirty dancing made the sea. Your mountains and your waters set the stage for romance on the screen.
Guys, I finished Rouge this morning. Can't lie to you, it ended up taking me a while. It probably took me like 2 weeks to read this because I just don't think it's a bingeable book. Like, I think it's a book where you have to really focus. So I always wanted to be in like the right mindset to read it, because while you don't necessarily know what's going on, you still kind of need to focus. And I've had a very busy work week, so I just wanted to take my time with it, not rush it, and I'm glad I didn't because I really enjoyed this. As you can see, I tabbed a lot. I just think the writing is spectacular, but so interesting. I feel like this is a book you can properly dissect, and I mean, I'm not much of a rereader, but I think if I ever reread this, I would find so many more clues and like metaphors and hints in this writing, because it definitely was like clever and well thought out, and there are such tiny details in this that the more you go through the story and the more you learn about it, you kind of realise and like clock onto. We also kind of got answers, which I wasn't really expecting, because I'm pretty sure in Bunny we didn't. I mean, it's been a while since I read that book, but I'm pretty sure in Bunny it was very much left open. And this one, I mean, I'm not saying every single thing ever was answered, it wasn't, but I would say you leave it with a somewhat good understanding of kind of what's going on. Kind of. I really liked this. I think Mona Awad is just a writer for me. She's not necessarily an author where I would binge her books back to back. I think they definitely need spacing out because they are weird, they're bizarre. I wouldn't necessarily recommend them to everyone, but if you like weird books, like you're happy to kind of just go along like for the vibes, it's very vibey and trippy, but it is weird, it's bizarre, but also so cool. I don't know how she came up with this. Also, the cover makes so much sense to me now. Love the cover. I just think all of the imagery in this book was so great. Also, can I just say, the fact that the like prompt for this was pick a red book, not only did I pick a book that is red, is literally named red, there was so much red imagery throughout this book. Like, I literally couldn't have picked better. I really liked this. I'm very, very, very happy that this was picked, and I'm happy to have read another Mona Awad book because I really liked both of the ones that I've read, and I'm excited to now read All's Well. I've heard, well, literally from one person I just read a review, that All's Well is relatively similar to this one, so I'll probably give it a little bit of space because I don't want them to get confused in my brain, but I am looking forward to All's Well. But that does mean we have reached the end of this scavenger hunt. As I said at the start, if you have any more scavenger hunt prompts, please leave them in the comments because I like using your guys' prompts, so I'm probably going to continue doing it. So the next time we do it, I'll go through this video's comments as well. If there are any new ones, we can add them into the rotations. Anything you can think of, leave them down below. Just anything that involves the first book and then leads to the next one. Anything you can think of, go wild, go crazy. I love using your guys' prompts, they're so fun. Thank you so much for watching, thank you for being here. If you haven't already, you should definitely subscribe, I would love to have you. We have fun videos coming up, so you should stick around. Like the video, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I will catch you in the next one. I love you, goodbye!